everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today I'm very excited to be continuing my play of Marvel D.A.G.G.E.R from Fantasy Flight Games. We left it off in the last video as we moved into the final Nemesis mission, which we're trying to accomplish right now. And if you haven't checked out those prior videos of the showcase, I'll put a link to the whole thing in the top right-hand corner. We're kicking things off in the player phase with the Hulk, and we're aiming to complete this third Nemesis mission, which we need 8 progress on to succeed, or we could have the threat track, which is currently at 0, go up to 16, and that means we fail that Nemesis mission. We currently have Nemesis mission 1 and 2 succeeded, which is nice. That's going to give us a leg up when we go into the final showdown against the Nemesis Loki, but let's see how we do with this final mission. The Hulk is going to use his boosted aspect token to allow him to move and get an additional move because he's boosting it, plus whatever spaces he moves into or through, he's going to give those individual enemies a damage. That's going to do it for the Hulk. He moves into the space, ends up taking out an illusionary foe that only had 1 health, and also does 1 damage to Yon-Rogg. Black Panther's going to use a standard aspect token to move to the Middle East with Loki. The Hulk is now going to go ahead and use his Team Up card, which is already enabled, ready to go. We're going to flip this over. It says you can exhaust this card to either deal 1 damage to an enemy in your space or recover 1, then repeat this process 5 additional times. So using this card 6 times over for either a damage or recover allows me, with the very first 4, to place 4 damage on Yon-Rogg on top of the 1 I already had from Hulk moving into the space. That's enough to match the health of this individual. That side mission is complete. As we defeated this side quest, we take a look at the bottom left-hand corner. It tells us how much team-up points we're going to get. So the team-up track is going up by 3. That's going to take us from 1 to 4. We currently don't have anything in play that's going to restrict us from getting those team-up points. So remember, in earlier parts of the playthrough, I wasn't able to take advantage of some of these points that were coming from completing side quests, but now I can. And that's not all, because there's still 2 more iterations of this card that I can do. So I'm going to choose to use the recover on this, allowing me to heal 2 off the Hulk's 4 damage. So the Hulk will only have 2 damage remaining. Now the Hulk still has an aspect token to spend, and it's tough because I'd like to come down here and deal with this side mission, although I'd have to do some Defy actions. The Hulk's not so great at that. And I do have Black Panther heading up to do some Defy up here on the main Nemesis mission. So I'm splitting up my individuals to focus on Defy versus taking out enemies based on what they're really good at. But the other thing we have over here, New York is an enemy, but this place is already overrun, so I'm not as concerned about that situation. I'm more so trying to protect Atlantis like I just did. So at this point, I might still just move north at this point just to take that enemy out. Again, this will reduce threat overall that's gained later on. So the Hulk uses an aspect token to move into New York. Now Black Panther's going to use 1 move standard aspect token in order to get into Central Europe. The Hulk's going to go ahead and use a standard aspect token to take on the Egyptian warrior. There is already 1 automatic success thanks to the heroic aspect of aggression that the Hulk has. We're going to be rolling dice. We have 3 dice to roll with the Hulk, so we just need to see 1 more in order to take this individual out, and we easily get it. Now the only thing is, when we attack an Egyptian warrior, it does reduce our team up, so it's dropping by 1 down to 3. Heading into the Black Panther's turn, we know exactly what we want to do. We're going to defy the Nemesis mission. We're going to be rolling 2 red dice. We have an automatic success going in. The good news is I'm using a boosted aspect token, which allows me to use wilds. The lightning bolts, they get 3 successes instead of being counted as 1, which is pretty awesome. So here's hoping we see some lightning bolts in this roll, but only 2 dice, so the odds are probably not that great for me. 1 in 8 chance on each die. Let's see how we do. We got ourselves, oh, that's not bad at all. That's 3 defy right there, plus the automatic 1 for a total of 4. So here's the 4 progress we just gained, which is half of what we need to succeed at this. It's 4 times the number of heroes, which is 8 total progress. We have 4. That's awesome. Then it says after you defy the mission, you spawn an illusionary foe in a space with a hero, and you spawn it in a space with no illusionary foes if possible. We don't currently have 1 in the space with Black Panther, so 1 is showing up there. As we move into the Hulk's last turn, I noticed something when I used Hulk Smash, which is the team-up card. It states the second I go ahead and use it, I complete this hero mission, which means I gain Rick Jones. You'll notice in the last shot there was an icon next to that hero mission that matches an icon on a hero card that you have set up from the beginning of the game. So when you complete your hero mission, you get to flip over this card, and that is going to be who I just mentioned, Rick Jones. This gives me a passive ability, which means I increase my tactic attribute by 2, which is great. I'm just going to keep the card nearby so I don't forget. And speaking of attack, let's go ahead and use the last standard aspect token to rest. I'm going to be rolling my attack. I get an automatic success in here, but my attack is now at 3, so I'm rolling 3 dice. I should almost guarantee, I hope, that I can take away the 2 damage that's on my card here, which would be nice. I could also start charging something, which could be even better. Let's see how we do here. This is not going to help me. This isn't going to help me, so that's a terrible roll, but I have 1 success out of this, so I'll take away 1 damage. Black Panther will use the last aspect token in order to defy, which allows us to get a guaranteed success. We're going to be rolling 2 additional dice, looking for wilds or the defy symbol. Let's see how we do. We got 2 of them. That's a total of 3. We are just 1 away. 3 progress has been placed on Nemesis mission number 3. That ends off the hero phase. We head into Nemesis phase where we advance the threat. This advancement of threat is going to be our nastiest so far. Loki gives us 3. We get 2 from these individuals here, 1 from the overrun token in the city, and we have 2 side quests with another 2 and another 1. So this is a great example as to how nasty things can get when you have side quests that are throwing threat at you that you have not completed. And also as cities begin to become overrun, of course, just having a handful of those overrun is not good. It's going to perpetually be hitting your threat. And of course, if all the cities are overrun, you lose the game. So you certainly don't want to happen. We've done a pretty good job so far of keeping cities under control. We only lost New York so far. Checking the Nemesis mission, we know at this point we haven't succeeded or failed. The event card tells us there's a database breach. It says each hero tests TAC. Well, that's a good thing because the Hulk just got a boost on that. And for each hero who does not roll at least 1 success, move the nearest non-Nemesis enemy to their space. Each enemy cannot be moved more than once by this effect. All right, let's go ahead and roll for our heroes and see who succeeds or fails. So we're going to go ahead and roll here for the Black Panther. Black Panther got a successful attack, so nothing nasty on that side for him. The Hulk has 3 as well, actually, because of the Rick Jones boost, which is nice. Let's see if we get what we need. We absolutely did, so nothing changing. In this instance, we happen to have had 2 non-Nemesis enemies already in a space with Black Panther, so things may not have shifted much anyway. Now moving to icons on the event card, the first one was a side quest, so I draw the top one. We got Unwelcome. It says, defy this mission on Atlantis, place the progress on this mission for each success. We have to get 4 to succeed at it. Now what it's doing, it says, while this mission is active, the heroes cancel 1 TAC result from each of their attribute tests. That's not good. And we're going to go ahead and place this in Atlantis. Next up, we have the beaker icon. So we're going to look over here. It says Trickster God. Each hero loses empowered, although both heroes don't have empowered. Each hero that cannot suffers 1 damage instead. Now the Hulk is currently at 2 damage, but Black Panther has 4 damage, and Black Panther has already gone down once, and my total health is 6. So we are getting dangerously close to going down again. And speaking of taking damage, unfortunately we have a minion in the same space as Black Panther who is going to do 2 damage to Black Panther as the first one to activate. 6 damage was enough to take out the Black Panther a second time, defeated, and this eliminates the hero from the game. So we only have the remaining hero, Hulk, left in play. The one thing to note, when you lose a hero in this way, by being defeated twice, you're not going to be able to rejig the calculation of the progress tokens on the Nemesis mission or the side missions. They're still going to calculate as if all the heroes are still in place. In other words, we need 8 progress on the Nemesis mission. It doesn't just reduce to 4 because the Black Panther has been taken out. So our mission going forward here with the remaining heroes is we need to, by the end of the next hero phase, we need to have begun the final showdown. So we need to make a big push. And if we don't, we lose the game. But we're still continuing on with enemy activations. We have this individual right here. That illusionary foe is going to move its way over to Loki as it's trying to get to a base in its region. Also worth noting that this Egyptian warrior, whether it attacks or it's attacked by a hero, is going to reduce the team up track. So when it made that attack against the Black Panther, it's going to go ahead and reduce our team up track from 3 down to 2, which I've done off screen. And this time, Loki wasn't stunned, so Loki gets to actually activate, and there's no individual in its space hero-wise to attack. There's also no base in its space. It's going to move towards the nearest base in its region that is not already overrun, so that's Wakanda. And then in terms of spawning, we have another Egyptian warrior showing up in the Middle East. All right, Hulk, it's time to make it happen. We need to defy that mission in Central Europe, so let's get moving. Hulk heads in using his boosted move action, putting 1 damage on the Egyptian warrior here. And again, that's going to affect our team up track, so we're dropping down to 1. That Egyptian warrior is really a pain. They're all a pain because they keep affecting the team up track every time I interact with them. But that's okay because I'm trying to put some damage on them as I move. Now we're going to go ahead with the Hulk again. We're going to do a defy action in this space. Now I don't have an automatic success with defy because I am more on the fight side of the equation. I only have a single die with this. So here's hoping we can pull this off. Otherwise, we have 1 more attempt in this round. That was not the result that I wanted to see. That was attack result, which is not a defy result. So we're going to go ahead with another standard aspect token and try and defy once more. I have nothing else with the Hulk to try to increase this at the moment. So the only thing I could do is potentially try to charge up some of my support cards to help me out. I do have a support card here. Let me see. Maybe there will be something that actually makes sense to do in terms of adding additional dice. No, this is all about fighting enemies for the Hulk. He's not really all that good at dealing with missions. He's more, which is very thematic. I mean, that's really what he's all about, is just crushing people endlessly in his rage. So let's go ahead and roll the die here. I'm looking for a wild or a defy symbol. Come on, I need this. We got it. And that, my friends, is what you call living on the edge. If that die roll had not had come up a defy or a wild, we would have lost right there because we would not be able to enter into the final showdown. We're able to now, as we've got all the progress we need on this card, a total of 8. So when the Hulk has finished his last aspect token, we can jump into that final showdown. For the last aspect token, makes sense to try to get rid of some damage or maybe charge up a card for attacking or something like that. Seeing as I'm not doing too bad for damage, maybe I'll try and charge something up to attack. So let's go ahead and do a rest. So we're going to get a attack roll here. It's going to be 1 success automatically, but we get to test our attack, and then we're going to roll 3 dice because of the boost up here, which is nice. It's also worth mentioning that we do have a -1 attack result off a side quest that's impacting us. So it will take one of the successes away off the dice. We got ourselves the success rate there from the wild is gone. So we do get the 1 that's here, which is decent, I guess, but 1 on any of these does not charge either of these up or really get me to a point that I really want to bother. So I'll just go ahead and we'll recover 1. So the first step is to advance the threat. There actually was 10 threat on this round, jumping us to 19, which is way over the threshold to fail. But remember, when resolving the Nemesis mission, you first resolve whether you have progress, enough progress first, and then if you don't, then in that case, I would have failed right now this Nemesis mission, but I do succeed at it. We're going to go ahead and flip it over and see what happens. It's going to say place 1 suppression token on the Nemesis sheet. That's going to be a total of 3 of these tokens across all the Nemesis missions, as we were successful on every one of them. Here's a look at Loki's card. We're going to go ahead and flip this card over to move into the final showdown. The final showdown, it states here 5 health per player. And again, even though the Black Panther is eliminated, still counts in this regard. So 10 health here for Loki in this final stage. It says move Loki to Asgard and then move the Bifrost token to Central Europe. So Loki has moved from Wakanda to Asgard, and the Hulk was already in Central Europe, but the Bifrost token moved there. Next up, it says for the remainder of the game, with the Nemesis ability, those icons we saw on the opposite side of the card would be resolved. Instead, you're advancing the threat by 2, and now the heroes lose the game if the threat reaches 20. And after we resolved Nemesis mission number 3, we had it up to 19 threat, but thankfully we were able to succeed at the mission before we failed the 3rd Nemesis mission. Now that's been resolved, there's a couple things we still need to handle, which we'll do after we read through the rest of this sheet. But the first thing is we need to reset that threat track back down to 0, and the new threat level is 20. That will lose us the game. Next, it states when a hero would damage Loki, if there are any illusionary foes in play, which there is currently 1 right now, and of course more could always come in, then the damage is instead dealt to that illusionary foe. So that's going to be kind of a problem. We need to get rid of the illusionary foes so we can truly hit Loki. Pretty cool. And then it states here, activation, Loki attacks the first player for 5 damage, regardless of the location. We can use suppression tokens to reduce the damage of Loki's attacks by 1 for each suppression token on the sheet. Again, we got these tokens because we succeeded at the nemesis missions, giving us a little bit of a leg up in the damage department if we get hit. And finally, the heroes win the game if Loki is defeated. So 10 damage on Loki is what we're trying to accomplish. Now, as you can see, the threat has been reset to 0 after completing nemesis mission number 3, but we have to spawn a side mission. Here's the problem. We have all our side mission slots filled up, and when you cannot place one, you're going to increase the threat track by 1 plus the number of heroes. And again, in this case, the number of heroes still count as if both heroes are in play, so it's going to be a total of 3. With that now adjusted, let's go ahead and resolve an event card. The event card is called a change of plan. It says each hero rolls 1 die and moves to the corresponding space. Oh, this could actually gum up my whole plan to get in there against Loki. Let's go ahead and see where we end up. We got ourselves a tack symbol. What does this mean? It says a base of their choice. Out of all the bases available, the one that makes the most sense logically is Wakanda for Hulk, so we're going to move there. Now, unfortunately, the next icon on the card is to spawn another side mission, which we can't do. So we're going to increase the threat by 3 again. This is not good. And then we have another icon here, which we're told on Loki's sheet is going to represent 2 more threat increase, bringing us up to 8 now. Now we're going to activate some enemies here. This should be pretty easy because this individual here is going to simply move into this space. This individual here is going to make its way towards the base, which is not taken over in its region or overrun its region as well. And then this individual will come into this space as well, which is, again, not bad because I really want to get rid of these illusionary foes. This is where things get even more fun. Loki now activates, and Loki, based on the card over here, states on activation, attacks the first player for 5 damage regardless of location. So at this point, I'm going to use all 3 suppression tokens to remove 3 of the damage out of the 5 that is throwing at me. So only 2 will hit the Hulk. So we'll have a total of 3 damage on the Hulk, as I have 1 there already. Last but not least, an Egyptian warrior is spawned in space 4. Now, one thing I want to correct is something I missed on a side mission here called Spreading Chaos. It says to place 1 progress token on this mission for each damage dealt to an enemy. Do not place progress for damage dealt in excess of the enemy's health. We easily put inside this video 8 damage on enemies. So this is actually completed. So in order to retroactively make sure everything's correct, I know I was going to spawn 2 side missions and I paid the penalty twice there. So we're going to complete this one, which will bring us back down by 3, and we're going to spawn 1 side mission and we'll be all squared away. This one says stand as 1. After a hero resolves a combo ability, place 1 progress on this mission. It's going to advance the threat by 1 here. It needs 2 progress on it to complete. Hulk is ready to begin the hero phase. Also worth mentioning, the Spreading Chaos side mission I just completed. I bumped up the team track for the corresponding amount of team points, which is 4. Doesn't really change anything because I can't even activate this just yet, but I would love to. That would be pretty awesome. And I've got another correction to make here around this ability here, a passive one. It says after you defeat a rank 1, 2, or 3 enemy, you may place progress equal to that enemy's rank on any side or hero mission. I took out 2 Egyptian warriors as well as 1 soldier. Now, in terms of the rank, that is 1, 1, and 2, so that's a total of 4, which would allow me to actually complete another one of the side missions that was sitting out there for some time. So I don't even have to go ahead. I can just go ahead and complete one right now for the sake of it. We're going to get rid of this one right here. Fury's Fury, again, has to be one that was actually in play at the time. It'll get me 2 here on the team up track, and the big thing about this is that I can actually reduce my threat level down by 3. Again, I'm doing all this retroactively because I goofed and did not complete those side missions based on the abilities on the Hulk because I got a little caught up in what I was doing. I'm going to spawn a new side mission. The new side mission is Living Lasers. We have a new individual that's going to be coming out in location 3, and it's worth mentioning the threat track is now down to 2. So by paying attention to what I have to be able to get through those side missions, I've been able to get my threat back to where it should be going into this final showdown. And that's what I get for going camping with my family and detaching from this game and coming back and trying to get reconnected back into it again. I'd forgotten what was going on with some of those side missions and wasn't really paying attention to those, but got things sorted out, and we've got our threat track to 2 to start this next round off. We have this new individual that's come in based on this side mission here. Let's get going with the Hulk. Let's try and take Loki down. The Hulk's going to start off by using a boosted aspect token in order to move. He's going to move out of this space, allowing him to damage both of these individuals into this space, damaging this one, and then to Central Europe. That ends up taking out an illusionary foe. It's not a rank 1, 2, or 3 enemy, so I don't get progress on any kind of mission from it, but that allows me now to clear the board of illusionary foes, so now I can focus on putting damage on Loki, which I'm happy about. Next up, the smart thing to do would be to spend my team up track points in order to get this card activated. So we're going to bring this down to 1, and we're going to get this one in play. This is a great card to have, especially when we go up against Loki. Now I'm going to use a standard aspect token to move through the Bifrost token to Asgard. And this is where the fun begins. So we're going to go ahead now with no illusionary foes in play whatsoever. We're going to make an attack. We're going to use Hulk Smash so we can go ahead and deal 1 damage to an enemy in your space or recover 1 and repeat it 5 times. So this literally puts 6 damage on Loki. Now the Hulk's going to do what the Hulk does best. He's going to go ahead with another aspect token. He's going to do a fight action. This is going to allow him to roll his attack dice. He's got 3 of them. He's got a success automatically, which is awesome. Let's see if we can get a bunch more. We need to see those attack symbols or wild symbols, and we got literally none of them. This would have been an incredible roll to get if we had a boosted token on the fight action, but we got nothing. But we did get the 1 freebie. All right, we're creeping our way up here. Excited for this. Let's go ahead with a final attack here and see if we can get what we need on this turn. This is the last action for the Hulk, so I'm really hoping this pans out. We're going to go ahead and roll the dice and see if we get what we want to see. We have 1 success going in, so it's going to give us a total of 8. We just need to see 2 icons on the die to get us to 10. Let's see what we get, and we are short by 1. That was incredibly close to being successful. Unfortunately, we're going into the Nemesis phase. We're doing the jump in the threat. We have 3 coming from Loki to start things off. We're going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4 other enemies. So that's a total now of 7, which is not looking good. We have 1 overrun city, so that is 8. And then we come over here. We have an advancement of threat for another 1, which is 9. That's it for advancing threat. We have no Nemesis mission to check. We're going to resolve an event card right now, so we're going to draw a card off the deck. See what we get. It says Preemptive Strike. The first player may test TAC. If they roll at least 1 success, they may cancel 1 enemy spawn icon on this card. Okay, well, remember, we still have that card in play that takes away attack success result. So that's going to impact things. It's one of the side missions that we still have over there causing us pain, but at least my TAC is 3 dice, so maybe I'll get more than 1, because that's what we need. We need to have 2 in order to actually pass this. Let's see how we do. We got, oh, nice, 2 wilds. That'll do it. So we pass. Now, we rolled 1 success at least. Yep, they may cancel 1 enemy spawn icon on this card. Okay, so we'll cancel the 1 here. The first player may move the Iliad, which is this right here, to any numbered space. Am I concerned about this thing in any way, shape, or form? Well, maybe. Maybe I am. Let me think about this. Let's put this one over here. We'll put it over here in East Asia, I think. So that's going to do it. Now we're going to come over to this, and we're going to say actually we'll look at the icons first. Do we have any ongoing icon or any ongoing effects, I should say? No, but this one right here will increase the threat by 2, so that's going to jump us from 11 up to 13. That's slightly dangerous. Then we're going to activate a whole bunch of enemies. Most of them are just going to shuffle around the game board. Some are going to cause problems. An Egyptian warrior moved from here to here. We have the next one here in Wakanda who's going to overrun this city, which is not good. And then we have this one here that now has no reason to go into its region's base because it's been taken over. We'll go to the nearest one. It's going to head likely over to the Iliad in this direction, so it's going to move 1. So maybe my move there was not so great, but either way, I don't think distance-wise it would have made any difference. The final individual will shuffle up to Atlantis, again trying to overrun this location. That's not good. Now Loki's going to activate. Loki's going to simply attack me for 5 damage, which puts me 1 away from being defeated for the very first time on the Hulk. And wouldn't you know it, the illusionary spawn is the one that's coming out this time. It's showing up in North America. Heading into the next hero phase, we reset our aspect tokens. I'm pretty sure I'm planning on attacking. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to use a boosted fight action here with the Hulk, allowing me to use TAC results as successes. I have 1 success automatically, which I'm going to need anyway because I'm going to need to use that damage that I get off that success to take out the illusionary foe, which is what will happen as it uses it as like a soak-up mechanism for Loki to stop Loki from taking damage. Even though this individual is nowhere near Loki, it's is still going to soak up damage on his behalf. We're going to be rolling 3 dice right now. We've got this illusionary foe taken care of. We just need one more on Loki, and we've got this in the bag. So here we go. Let's see whether we can pull this off. We got ourselves 2 wilds, 2 hits on the attack, far more than enough to take Loki down. The illusionary foe soaked up 1 damage, the rest went straight through to Loki, taking Loki down. The Hulk is the hero in this situation, as Black Panther went down earlier in the video. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up the showcase for Marvel D.A.G.G.E.R from Fantasy Flight Games. I had a lot of fun going through not only showing you what comes inside the core box, how to set the game up, but also playing it from start to finish to give you a great idea as to how this one flows and operates and help you make that decision as to whether or not this game is for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Apologies again for the mishap with the side quest. Was able to correct that as we went through. It was fun to see the Hulk be able to pull out a victory even though Black Panther was taken out. It was very close as our threat was going further and further down the track. We got up to 13 there, and at 20 we would have lost the game. There was actually a couple times throughout the play where things could have gone south. We were able to persevere, and the Hulk is the true hero in this story. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.